This is Little Miss Twins by Roger Hargreaves, recorded for Iris. Well, you couldn't just tell them apart. Who? Why, Little Miss Twin and Little Miss Twin, of course. Who did you think? They lived in a funny sort of a country called Twoland. Why was it called Twoland? You'll find out soon enough. One morning, Little Miss Twin and Little Miss Twin were having breakfast. 2 boiled eggs each. Suddenly there were 2 knocks at the door, and they both went to see who it was. And there, standing on the doorstep, were 2 postmen. "Good morning, morning," they said. People in Twoland tended to talk like that. "2 letters for you, they said. "Oh, good, good," explained the twins, and they read their letters while they finished their breakfast. Oh. After reading their letters and after washing up and after making their twin beds, the twins went shopping to Town. On their way, they passed 2 policemen. "Hello, hello," they said. The twins bought 2 loaves of bread from Miss Twice Slice, the baker's wife. And they went to Mr. Double Chop, the butcher's, and bought some sausages. £2 of your very best sausages, please, please, they said. "Oh, you'll enjoy these," smiled Mr. Double Chop as he wrapped up the sausages in 2 parcels, and the twins went home to 2 Times Cottage. Oh, didn't I tell you? That was where they lived in Twoland. Mr. Nosy was driving his car back from Happyland. He had been to see how Mr. Happy was, stayed the night, and was now on his way home. As he was driving along, he noticed a signpost he'd never seen before. It was pointing to Twoland. "Twoland?" he thought to himself. "I've never heard of such a place." So, being a nosy fella, he turned the wheel and set off to find where Twoland was. He's not called Mr. Nosy for nothing. Nosy by name and nosy by nature. It was a very warm day. Mr. Nosy began to feel decidedly thirsty. He stopped at the first cottage he came to. Little Miss Twin was outside, gardening. "I say," called out Mr. Nosy, "could I possibly trouble you for a glass of water?" "It's so hot today," he added apologetically. Of course," smiled Little Miss Twin. "Come on in." Mr. Nosy couldn't quite understand why she was talking like that, but he was too much polite to mention the fact. He got out of his car and followed the Little Miss Twin to the garden path of 2 Times Cottage. "After you," she said, opening the door for him. Mr. Nosy went in and jumped. "I thought you were behind me," he said. "Oh, no," laughed Little Miss Twin. "She's my twin." "That's right," giggled the other Little Miss Twin behind him. "Am I in Twoland?" Mr. Nosy asked the twins as he slipped a glass of water, and they both giggled. "Oh, yes," they said. "And why do you always talk like this?" he asked. "Like what?" they said. "Would you like to stay for lunch?" asked one of the twins. "It's sausages," added the other. "How very kind," replied Mr. Nosy. Their way of talking seemed to be catching. After lunch, the Little Miss Twins promised to show Mr. Nosy around Twoland, and they took him to the Twoland Art Gallery, and there were 2 of every painting. They took him to the 2 Town Hall to meet the mayor, Mr. Doublechin. "Welcome to our town," he said as he shook Mr. Nosy by the hand. And the 3 of them went for tea in the main hotel in Town, the Ritz. They had 2 cups of tea each and 2 sandwiches and 2 cakes each. "Let me pay," said Mr. Nosy. "Oh, no," they insisted. "You're our guest," they added. It was getting quite late when they came out of the Ritz. "I really must be going," said Mr. Nosy as he climbed into his car, which he had parked outside the hotel. "I don't like driving in the dark." "It's lovely to meet you, Mr. Nosy," said one twin. "We hope we meet again soon, said the other. Bye-bye, called Mr. Nosey as he drove off. Bye, the twins called after him. 2 days later, in Tiddletown, which was where he lived, Mr. Nosey received a letter. It had a 2-land postmark on the envelope and 2 2-land stamps, and he opened it in great excitement. Inside the envelope was a parking fine for parking his car on a double yellow line outside the Ritz in Two Town, which, as you know, is no place to park. And that was Little Miss Twins. I hope you enjoyed Little Miss Twins book.